He once seemed unbreakable, a towering figure who could track anyone down, no matter the odds, always flashing that confident grin under the shades. But beneath the unbreakable exterior hid a man haunted by devastating blows, shattered trusts, and choices that chased him harder than any fugitive ever could. Picture a boy growing up in the shadows of violence. Born in early 1953 in a gritty Colorado town, he entered a world split between a father's iron fists and a mother's quiet prayers. The old man, a welder with a boxer's rage, enforced rules with brutal swings of a paddle, leaving marks the kid learned to conceal. His mom begged for calm in church, but the storms at home raged on. It felt normal back then, this cycle of fear and forgiveness. Only years later did he see the cracks it carved into his soul. By 16, he'd had enough. He bolted from the house and dove into the wild pulse of a biker crew, swapping family ties for the roar of engines and the sting of outlaw life. Drugs swirled, fights erupted, and in one chaotic bar brawl, he stood up for his lingering beliefs. A rival mocked him. "You scrap like a beast." God's name flipped inside out. The taunt stuck. He claimed it, forged it into his shield, his calling. Life twisted further in 72 when he tied the knot with a young woman named Sue. They set up in a dusty Texas spot, welcoming 2 boys into the world. But calm shattered fast. 4 years in, a botched deal pulled him into nightmare territory. Sitting in a car while pals handled the mess, he heard the shot that ended a life. He never fired, but the law branded him complicit. 5 years behind bars became his sentence. 18 months of steel and regret reshaped everything. In those walls, he cut hair for the guards, even stepped in during a desperate breakout, shielding a prisoner from fatal bullets. The warden took notice. One guard murmured he had the gift for hunting without destroying. Freedom in 78 handed him back a hollow shell divorce papers, faded dreams, but ignited a spark. He hit the streets, pursuing skips across states, turning gut instinct into a lifeline. It wasn't work. It was atonement, a shot at extending the mercy he'd craved. If this story's pulling at you already, hit share. Let it reach someone who needs a reminder that broken paths can lead somewhere. Out of lockup, temptations waited like old ghosts. Another quick marriage to a teen he met at a rally crumbled under hardship and habits, yielding 3 sons, one lost at birth, the others slipping away when she walked. Then came a bar encounter, a wild pact for a family, 3 more kids. But the chase of danger clashed with her need for steady ground. Divorce again by the early 90s, yet his name echoed in the shadows of the trade, tireless, unyielding, preaching that nobody's beyond saving. Destiny shifted in 88 with a bold woman he'd once sprung from a cell. She matched his fire, became his anchor. They fled to islands, launched a bonds business, merged chaotic clans. Hunts turned legendary, but fame's shadow loomed, ready to strike. Early 2000s, he snagged a high-profile runner in foreign streets, a cosmetics heir on the lam. Headlines exploded, but local rules flipped the script. They cuffed him, his love, their boy for the grab. Jailed briefly, bailed out, charges vanished, but the world now knew his face. A network deal followed in 04. Thrusting their raw world into living rooms. Prayers before raids, tears after takedowns, unbreakable bond on screen. Cracks formed off camera. Sons rebelled over cash and power, stormed off the set. Then a private rant leaked harsh words about a girlfriend's background. Outrage boiled. The show halted, deals dissolved. He faced the cameras, voice breaking, begging pardon. They reinstated him, but the glow dimmed. By 12's finale, exhaustion etched his features. The hunter had become the haunted. Hold on, imagine losing the one person who made the chaos. Bearable. 2017 delivered the cruelest hit. his partner's throat cancer diagnosis. He, the protector, felt useless. Their fight aired raw, vulnerable pleas, fleeting victories. Cancer retreated once, then roared back fiercer. She pushed through chutes, masking agony, until the end in a Honolulu room. Her final breath, a whisper to release her. Grief swallowed him whole. Thoughts of joining her darkened days. Money woes piled on. His own health teetered with a lung threat. A TV doc urged change, ditch the smokes, open up in sessions. Nothing erased the emptiness. For the first time, the pursuer stood still, cornered by sorrow. Whispers spread in isolation. A familiar face offering solace, an old aid to his late love. Snaps of closeness sparked fury accusations from his own blood. He pushed back. She was a lifeline in the abyss. A televised plea for marriage? She turned it down flat. He called it a test of the winds. Judgment howled anyway. Then, a wrong number call to a widow's line-seeking yard, help for her departed husband. Words flowed, shared voids, faith's fragile threads. Grief bloomed into something tender. Proposal by mid-2020. Vows in 21 amid Colorado hills. Critics snarled at the speed, but he held firm. Their lost ones smiled from above. Healing came in conversations that honored the past. They relocated, poured energy into a foundation aiding trafficking survivors, shelter, guidance, fresh starts. He spoke at gatherings of belief, penned his journey of falls and rises. But storms don't spare the redeemed. July 2025 shattered again. His new family's young grandson, just 13, gone in a heartbreaking mishap with a gun. Statements called it unthinkable accident. He, who'd stared down death in alleys and cells, cradled his wife through echoes of old wounds, another child stolen, like his daughter in a wreck years prior. On the cusp of his island wedding, the tally of lost mounts, over a dozen kids, blood and chosen, navigating his whirlwind wake. One battled inner demons after a mother's tragic end. Others chased bounties, then fled family rifts. A girl lost too young in Alaskan snow. Step-kin grapple with spotlight scars. One son vanished into quiet. A daughter built a life, wed in joy he witnessed through screens. Fresh headlines in late 2025. His policeman boy in a chase gone deadly. A teen's life cut short. Axed, then restored with dad's testimony on second chances. Lawsuits followed, pride laced with ache mirrors of his own courtroom ghosts. Even faith's fire draws flack, rally words deemed too sharp, old temper flaring. He stands by conviction, preaches mercy amid the mess. Crowds still gather for his tales of grace. Now, in his 70s, home a sanctuary of memories and mutts. He reflects, fugitives were always fragments of his fleeing self-redeemable. The hunt shifts inward, for serenity that teases but evades. This isn't a tale of flawless victory. It's raw endurance, from rebel to redeemer, widower to partner again, flawed fighter to quiet witness. Pain forged purpose, but peace? It flickers if his journey stirred something in you, like this. Share it wide past the hope to another soul, and subscribe for more lives laid bare, proving we're all chasing light through the dark.